Hey guys, welcome back. We've got another Kitchenaid K5-a lift arm K5 here to restore, and this one's got an interesting story behind it. This was sent in by Joe, and Joe tells me that he bought this from a guy that was selling it for his mother-in-law, and that she had received it as a wedding gift. So he went and did a little research and found out that she was married in April of 1951. So that puts an approximate date on the machine here, and we'll look for a date inside here on the field coil and armature and see if there's a date in there. But this one's going to get all completely restored, all fixed up on the inside. We're going to make sure this thing runs good and looks good. And this one is also going to be done in black. It's going to have the silver accents on it and everything, but it's going to be done in black, and we're going to put a black cord on here as well. He's got some good ideas for decaling on this, but that will look good with the black. And he was thinking about going with a matte black on here, but after discussing it with him and stuff, we decided to go with a satin black, just because it'll be easier to wipe off. Because your matte colors look good, but stuff gets on them, and it's harder to keep them clean with the matte colors. So we're going to go with a satin black on here. So I think this thing's going to look really sharp when it's done. And let's go ahead and plug it in. And he said there's an issue. He believes the spring is missing or disconnected for the speed control, because he said there is an issue with the speed. The cord looks, well, parts of it are somewhat flexible. I don't see any rips in it or whatever, and it must work because he did have it plugged in. But of course, it's one of these dangerous ones that you want to be really careful of, and hope that you don't pop a breaker plugging it in, because I do see little wire pieces around. Yeah, that looks really unsafe. So I'm not gonna be surprised if we pop a breaker on this one. Let's go ahead and let's carefully plug it in and see what happens. Alright, so we didn't pop a breaker. That's a good sign. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Okay, so you can see there's really no speed control. You got mainly second to high speed and then a high speed. And it sounds rough as well. So yeah, I have no doubt this thing's going to need some parts. And another thing, this part of the cord right here is like really stiff. You bend it and it just crumbles apart. So we're not even going to worry about the cord on here. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut it right off. I think this one's going to be a fun one to do. It looks like there's some issues with the paint here, and there's some tape residue on it, and it looks like some bubbling here. I'm not sure if that's rust under the finish or what it is. But we'll find out when we get to it. There's tape on this thing, but fortunately that'll all come off. We don't have to worry about trying to save this finish at all here. I think what I want to do first, while everything is on the stand, is knock that ring off of there, and then start taking out our planetary on here. Because we already know there's an issue back here, so we'll just have to see what it is when we get back there to it. So we want to real gently remove our drip ring here. Go, and it's full of, looks like already glazed oil, varnish in there. Sorry, I'm trying to get my afternoon coffee in me here. Get a little cap off here on the end as well. And start putting our little parts to the side there. Alright, I gotta get a punch for our planetary. So I had to move the camera back to the side, so hopefully you guys can see. I'll just try to keep looking at it, make sure you're in frame here. pin should be just about out. And it might just be some crud built up on the end of it. Because it's loose and wiggling around, it just won't pull all the way through. My favorite piece of crap tool. Wow, it's like right there, right at the edge. Oh. Alright, now let's try to go the other way then. Oh, yeah, it won't. I think I've already moved the shaft. Yeah. Alright, let's work on getting this planetary to come off here. There we go. And then we can get our pin out. There's the wick. And what's left of some old, really ancient grease here. Alright, so we'll set this planetary aside for now. And we'll get our back cap off here. There, you guys should be able to see from there. Well, the problem is I can't see from down here. Alright, let's see what we got waiting for us under here. Yeah, this spring is definitely, like he was right, it's either missing or it's disconnected, because had the spring been on here, put tension against this, it would pull this back, and then as you go over your speeds you can see it move. But the way it is right now, it doesn't even move until you get to the end. So yeah, definitely maybe the spring there, we'll have to take a good look at that. I don't know if the spring broke or if it just came disconnected. Either way, we'll fix her up.
Hi.
Okay, so let's start, pulling the brains of this machine out. At least by now, I feel like an old pro on these Kitchenaids now. All it takes is to get one or two under your belt, and they're all pretty much the same after that. The screws are always a mile long. It always surprised me because you use such a short range of these for adjustment, but the screws are a mile long. The contact points are underneath here. I'll see if I can take a look at them later. Alright, let's pop our little doohickey off here. It's part way off. I can see from here the pin hanging out. There we go. And the pin was hanging right on out of there. This little guy there. gotta start setting parts that are getting powder coated down out of my way. These KitchenAids take up a lot of room when you disassemble them, so make sure that you got plenty of counter space. Being that, I've got a ton of KitchenAid parts on the way, and I've got more KitchenAids to do yet. I may have to rearrange a little bit more on my new setup here, but that's no big deal. Alright, let's go get these brushes out. See what they look like. I have, ooh man, the brushes look really good. Really good. I have two more KitchenAids that are in the process of being finished up. One, the powder just came in today for it, and the other one, it's already done. That's a K5-a, and it's already done, powder coated, partly assembled. But I had to order parts for it. I had to get a new gasket for it, which I've got new gaskets coming, cords, and brushes, a couple other things that had to be ordered. And I got a big box today from FedEx. I knew my KitchenAid parts were coming, so I opened up the box and there was one cord in there. So I don't know when the rest of the stuff's going to get here. And I had that thing set aside all ready to, all laid out here, ready to be put back together. And I had to kind of move everything because the parts just ain't here. So I got to try to find another source. I think those were ordered up right from Whirlpool, and I got to find another source to get them. I mean, there's plenty of places out there. It's just, you always have to wait on stuff, and they ship them in more than one shipment. Wow, that's heavy. That's a heavy band there, and you can see there's grease and stuff has been leaking out of the gasket on here. So I'm thinking I'm just going to start making it standard practice, stocking gaskets, and every time one of these comes apart, just put a new gasket on it. So set that there. Again, it's got to be cleaned up, and set the screws here. Now I can start taking everything apart back here. There's our little capacitor on there, 0.109 microfarad. And we got, that's a little sleeve that protects it. And we got our round resistor here. Let me get that out of the way. There we go. Alright, so now I got to pull a couple of nuts off the back of here. And this will, of course, give us access to the internals on here. I'm going to try to strip down as much as I can while it's still attached to the base on here. I did the other one. Of course, I don't think I've got the video posted yet where I took it off the base. As a matter of fact, I think it's the green one I'm waiting for parts for. I took it off the base, and the video is probably posted by the time this video gets posted. That one will be posted, but the green one, if you look back, I took it off the stand to take it apart to give you guys a better view with the camera. But honestly, it's much easier to take it apart when it's on the base. Take off as much as you can at least. It'd be interesting to find out what happened to the spring in here. Okay, let's get our wires pulled through. This plate should just come right out of here. Not sure what's got it held in there. A little bit of friction, I guess. And that, I believe, is just like a dust shield. Looks like we lost a washer from there. Oh no, I know where these go. These are the ones that go on here with a spring. And they just keep tension against that dust shield. Alright, so probably not going to be able to pull this armature out. It's probably going to have to be driven out from the other end. But look at the fan on that thing. It's got a different looking fan on it. It's like a fan for a boat motor, but it probably moves a lot of air still. Alright, well, that's about all I can do. Alright, move some of the stuff. That's about all I can do right now from back here. So I guess we can go ahead and we get this separated, from our base, and then we'll be able to get the gears out and remove that armature, and then we get everything else out. So I'm going to straighten out my parts a little bit and give myself some room to work. Alright, give myself a little bit of working room here. Now, no, that wasn't even tight. That was barely tight. Yeah, these aren't even really all that tight. Probably just years of vibration. Coating on these wires right here looks like it's cracking right there, so we may have to sleeve those. And some heavy duty screws, so you know this head is heavy. I got these same big screws that hold it to the base too. Okay. Now we can lift this right off of our lift arm base here. Oh yeah, that base is heavy too. Alright. Now, see if I can get you guys a good view of this here as we take this apart. Alright, I have 2 screws here, which is why you have to take this off the base to take it apart. There's 2 screws here, and wow, look at all the missing paint on here. And then, anyways, you got 5 screws here, and these are different screws than those. But they've all got to come out. There does seem to be a film of grease on that ring gear in there, so it's not completely dry. I keep forgetting I broke the tip off that screwdriver on that 3B trying to get the beater off of the shaft. I just busted the tip off my screwdriver, so I got to grind it down so it fits back in the screws again. These are all loose. Alright, it's about to get greasy. I'm already getting greasy and I haven't even opened it up yet. I think this paint right here is, I'm not really sure why it's coming off. I say maybe because it was grease leaking there, but the metal don't look greasy, and right here where there's grease there's no paint, so I don't know why it all seems to be coming off in that one spot there. Maybe getting a bowl banged into it, putting the bowl into place or something. Oops. Let's find the right screw hole here. Here my dog's out there. Nice day out, so I put them out there to stay outside and enjoy the sunshine for a little bit. I mean, it's probably in the 60s, so it's not too cold. But they're out there having a fit. They want to come in already. They just got to be in the house. Alright, these two screws didn't want to come out on their own, so tip it to get them out. Alright, I should really set something up for this now, because here's where we're going to get into all our real grease. Alright, this one does not have an O-ring on it. I think they put the O-rings in on like the solid state one, so you see there's no O-ring there on that shaft. So once you got all your screws out, you know, it's just a matter of cracking her open. They usually come open pretty easy. Sometimes these, you see these locator pins here, the locator pins on this part here, sometimes they can rust or seize. Just like, you know, on here, these can seize to the base sometimes. So you just gotta work it, and it will come off. I mean, turn upside down. And also may have an issue with all the buildup that's on that shaft there. Actually, no, that shaft will come out with the bottom part. Okay, there we go. Now we've got it apart. Just gotta pop our cord restraint. Alright, now we can see all that grease. Broken gasket. Gasket, of course, is shot. That's why I'm trying to stockpile gaskets for these things, because it's almost pointless anymore to even try and reuse them. Alright. I go through a lot of paper towels on these Kitchenaids, you'll notice. Get this gasket out of the way here. I think it's just like thoroughly soaked through with oil and crap. Well, grease is very, very hard. Really thick. Wow. That is some thick stuff. Alright, I'm gonna turn this around, make sure my screws are uncovered here, because I gotta pull this off and get this off, and then take our main gear out. But the screws back here anyways are covered in grease. Can't even see them. Now once again, I mean, this isn't even like grease anymore. It's like, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen the wax that's on those toilet rings that seal it to the floor, but that's kind of what it looks like. So I'm going to guess that this grease has never been changed in this machine. And if so, then it'd be a really, really long time ago. I need my shorter screwdriver. I keep forgetting about the end being busted on my big one, which is my favorite one, the one I use all the time. I'm going to find the slot in these when covered in grease. I know there's a slot in them somewhere. Alright. Get our screws off. Lock washer didn't come off with that one. Alright. So now this off. It's just on the locating pins. There. been one of them frustrating days dealing with parts and stuff. But yeah, the whole thing will come apart. Should. Get this out of here. Look at that pack full of that nasty crap. Alright, what is holding this up here? Another thing I noticed is I don't see any washers underneath here. So that's kind of weird. What the heck is holding this thing on here? I think there's just that much buildup on the end of the shaft here. Alright, that's not gonna go easily. There we go. Yeah, I think there's just some buildup on there. So, anyways, this is covered with this stuff too. We'll have to get all this stuff degreased. It's gonna take a while. That's a lot of goo on there. I can't even wipe it off. Alright, let me just set it aside for now. This gasket in the trash. I think more time spent degreasing on these things than anything. Alright. While I got this here, let's see if this ring will pop off. Look at that. Man, I've been having amazing luck with these lately. Well, of course all good things come to an end, right? Oh, there we go, it's still going. Alright, get our ring gear off of here. That's got to get degreased. The nice thing about that when it comes off is you can get all this grease that's down here under it right out of there. Because when it's in the way, you can't. You know, after I degrease them, if they don't come off, I gotta throw them in the oven, get everything good and hot, and then it'll come right out. But then you always got all this grease is all, you know, melted and running everywhere. So it just makes more of a mess. It's much easier to take it out now. But then again, you know, I think sometimes I have to heat them up just because there's so much old grease under them that that's what kind of glues it into place. Alright, now we should have two washers on the other side, one here. There's one. There's none on the shaft. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I guess they knew what they were doing. Maybe the washers act as shims and this one didn't need as many. I mean, you know, it sounds kind of weird because you think that they would all be identical, but if you think about it, you know, you had starters on cars back in the 50s and even the 60s and even later. You know, they wouldn't crank, they would make all kinds of noise until you shimmed them so they were right in line with the flex plate or the flywheel. So, I guess you always had variations in machining. I mean, these days with everything being, you know, so close, I mean, the shims for starters aren't needed anymore, and a lot of stuff is done by CNC, so it's the exact same every time. And these, you know, a lot of the stuff I was cast, you know, but, you know, I guess you could get the molds that are cast and can wear out or whatever, change just enough to where some things require more shims, some things require less. course, I don't know. I'm no engineer. Just guessing here. Alright. So, that is about as clean as we're going to get that until we get it in degreaser. Yeah. Now we got this. And I think I'm just going to get as much of this out of here as I can before I try to take anything else out. This grease alone adds quite a bit of weight to this machine. It's like caramel. Or as my wife says, caramel. Must be a Michigan thing. Everybody up here says caramel. They look at me funny when I say caramel, and I'm like, well, look how it's spelled. Alright, I'm not going to bore you guys with this. I'm going to get all this out and I'll be back. Alright, so I got a big chunk of that grease out of there. So now let's see if we can pull our PTO gear out. That must have a buildup on it somewhere as well, because it's not coming out nice and smooth at all. There we go. Get that set aside. Hey. Almost can't touch anything right now. Alright, so what we gotta do now is we gotta drive our armature out. So let me get something to force it out with. Something here that I use just for that. And just need to tap it out of there. I'm just gonna make sure it's dead center on that armature there, and not onto one of the edges of the teeth there. Tappy. And that just knocks the bearing out of the housing there. It's not pressed in so much, but it is. As you can see, it is in there, and it's, it is a ball bearing, and it's got a shield on it. And this one does not look like there's any grease left in there at all. Although it does seem to turn well, which is a good sign. We'll keep the shield with that. Armature has no wear on it. Yeah, everything looks good on here. We just have to clean up and polish it up. Alright. Now, I'm trying to clean up some of this stuff here. Let's stand this up on end. And try to get you, get you guys a better view here. Alright, oh, there's our spring. Somehow it looks like it got jammed up pretty good, bent, something, I don't know. But it definitely wasn't where it was supposed to be. So, alright. I gotta lay this down like this, and this is interesting. I'm not sure what this is here. Hope if you guys could see right here. I'm not really sure why that's there. That's where the bottom piece screws on. The screws go into here. Why they're not threaded into the housing is strange. It must be, something with the, with the older models. Well, it's going to be fun. I'm going to look back at the video when I go to reassemble this. I find these parts and I'm going to be like, what the heck are these for? Okay, so that one had a spacer under it. That one like that. And it's just to screw the housing to the screws for lower housing. That's interesting. So it was like a little design change. Let's get our whole lever out of here. There's the speed lever. Yeah, the spring is bent on the end. That's got to be more shaped like a hook on there, squared off hook. So hopefully we get that bent the right way. Alright, now we can take off this switch. Oh, the screw is loose. Alright. Well, the screw is loose. It's the original screw because it looks like the one on all the other switches. But this screw right here is different looking, so that screw was replaced at one point. So I'm not really sure. This thing must have had service at one time because I can't imagine it being like that from the factory. But yeah, it still, makes it interesting. Everything about these machines sometimes is like really interesting. Kind of stuff that you never think you'd see. This side's just a carbon copy of the other side. And the funny thing is, you got like a little square notch in here just to fit it up against those pins. Alright, so now we got everything off the bottom here. Take our little, I don't know if it's a dust shield or what it is. Let me see. I don't know that I can get you guys inside here well enough to see, but we gotta get our cord disconnected. And it looks like the cord may have been replaced on here before too, because this doesn't look normal. This is like just the whole cord is just jammed up in here. Yeah, it definitely doesn't look normal. I'm gonna have to cut this. It's like right in the way. And I'm not sure why I can't pull this out to get to the cord connections in there. I have no idea. None. So let's see if we can get the field coil out and then take a look at what's going on with that. And I guess sometimes you gotta take them apart the way they want to come apart. wish I could give you guys a better view here. But if I get the camera in there so you guys can see, I won't be able to see a darn thing. Basically, I'm working on just trying to get these thread rods out. You see right here, it holds the fuel coil in. Man, that's rudder's so tight. Wow, that one does not want to budge. What's going on here? There's finger tight when it's just about to come out, of course. Alright. Let me get my, I think it's, that one. That one goes right to a brush holder, so this other one, this other brush holder I think is the one that's hooked right to the fuel coil. I think we're ready to pull this fuel coil out of here. There we go. And then there's two spacers in here. They fell down inside, but they go on the inside part of the fuel coil. Alright, well you see why I couldn't pull this out. You see why I couldn't pull the cord through, because it's wire nutted way up here. And the wire nut was of course hooking on that right there. So yeah, that's why I think that just fell off, but that's why I couldn't pull that through. So about the only thing I could do was just cut the cord and pull it out with it. So now I'll check the wires on here. Everything looks good so far, nice and flexible. Make sure there's no breaks or anything, or sleeve anything that does. Oh, let me look for a date on here. I do not see a date on here anywhere. I look at the armature again. I was kind of hoping this one had a date on it. It says something on there. Probably Geeksters and read them. 110, 115, 2883, 750. I have no idea. There's no date on here either. Oh, that's kind of a bummer. I was hoping that there would be a date on it. Alright, well, get the two little spacers out. And this lead here from the brush holder. There we go. Alright, there's some cardboard like dust protector rings on these. There, get those out of the way. And now I can get my set screws loosened up for the brush holders. As soon as I found my little screwdriver. should just come right out. There we go. Alright. So, aside from gobs of grease that's down there that's got to come out, this thing is stripped right down. There's a little ring on the front here I just got to pop off quick. That doesn't look like it's going to want to pop off easily. There. Alright, got that ring off. Now it's ready to be stripped down and degreased. Still got an awful lot of grease in there. Alright, remove that out of the way. Now this big hunk of steel and zinc or whatever the heck this is made out of. I don't know, it's heavy. The base is steel. This side, I think somebody had said it was zinc. This is the clip that holds the bowl on. We're just gonna put a screw on the floor for good luck. But yeah, this is just chrome plated. We'll polish this up here, or it might be stainless even. And then we'll oh, this is neat. This got a little chrome bracket. So this one is definitely different than the other K5-a that we just did. Yeah, but we can't take this off yet. Why? Because it's got to come off from the bottom and it's attached to the base, but we got the screws out. I don't know if that's a separate piece there. Yep, it is. Come right out of there. Or not. That might be attached to the lift arm. It might be a totally different configuration here. Well, you know, strangely, I mean, these got. Oh, here, I'm gonna get these out of the way, and I want to tilt this. These have got a metal piece in here. Where all the newer ones, this part's plastic and it always seems to be broken. This got a nice fat metal one in there. The other thing I noticed is that this turns still, you know, as old as it is, goes nice and easy. You know, so we'll get it lubed up and everything, but it's just amazing how nice and easy that thing will turn. When the newer ones, they bind up and stick, and they're nothing but issues. But let me drive that pin out of there so I can at least pull the handle out. Battery punch side. There we go. Some little bit more heft. There we go. That sucker was in there. Something tells me it's not going to want to come out very well. And you can see why I had to get it out. We had to clean this up here really good, and we'll get a little bit of lube in there, probably some wax, just so it never binds up. And we can clean this handle up and get this polished up nice. Alright, so now, make sure that pin's out of the way. That's another thing I'm having trouble finding anymore is feet for these two. I just ordered some, but I was only able to order 5 because that was all they had in stock. So I'm going to have to get replacement feet for this too. So I'm going to have to find another supplier for those. Oh, Yeah, there's a little bit of rust in here. Well, it looks so rusty. This is the one stuck on the hardest too. Or not. I must have broke it loose before. I don't know my own strength. I'll fall down the hole. Alright. So this is ready to go except for these feet. I just gotta unscrew these feet from here. And that will be ready to go. Now we can take our arm assembly off as soon as I figure out how exactly that works. Try to enable this out of there. It's kind of hooked on there. I mean, honestly, I don't see any other way. Take that back. It seems like I overcomplicated it to an extent. Another cotter pin here, and I think if I would have just taken this apart here, take this nut off here. There's a castellated nut right on the bottom. Spring comes out. Washer comes off. There you have it. That's all I had to do all along. Now we can take the left arm out. Now these we just got to drive out. They're pressed in there, so we just heat them up a little bit in the oven, not with a torch in the oven, and then we can just, because it heats this whole piece up, and then we can just drive these right out of there. So, there's all our parts. So, man, this is weird. They just went together here. I'll try to put it back together the way it was. I think it was like. It was a cotter pin here, and then where did the spring go? There was a washer. There's a little cotter pin, there's a nut. There was a spring here. Oh, the castellated nut. And a cotter pin. I'll probably just go get some new cotter pins for this. Alright, and then of course on the top was this piece here. Block washer, those screws. Alright, so I believe that's how that setup went. Yeah, I think I made that a little more complicated than it needed to be. I think I could have left. Let's see if that went. I don't know. I'll have to wait till I put it back together. I'll probably go back and check the video and everything too to see, you know, how it was when I took it apart. But anyways, we got pretty much everything other than the planetary here taken apart, and that's just a matter of taking the screw out, and the washer will come off. This gear will come off. There's a pin, another washer, and then the shaft will pull out. I still got to get that pin out of there. A lot of stuff seems to be stuck on here, but I think just because it's so old. But anyways, we'll go through, get all this degrease cleaned up, and get those parts powder coated in the black, and then we'll come back and put it back together. Alright, so we finally got some of our Kitchenaid parts in. Not all of them. I still can't put that green one back together because I need a little plastic lift lever. And what happened was they sent me a box on the 9th, and then there was one part back ordered, and that came on the 16th. Well, you can't make heads or tails of the stuff they send you. I got a big box, had one cord in it that was back ordered, and looking at it, I thought all the rest of my stuff was back ordered, and the cord was the only thing that wasn't. So I waited and waited, and then I finally called them up, and they're like, "Oh, the only thing you received was what was back ordered." And I said, "I guess." The shipping label had been printed, but sometime between the time they put the label on the box and were supposed to ship it out to me, they don't know what happened to the box. So they got me another one out, and the two levers that I ordered that were in there were the last two that they had, so they were back ordered, and they said like June 1st. So I'm still working on trying to get these other Kitchenaids done. This one, fortunately, is an old one. It had a metal lever in there, so this one here is good to go. The only thing I noticed about this one, this thing had some issues here, but we did manage to get this one here all wrapped up and back together now. And fortunately, this is an older model. There was some things that I noticed about this that were weird. There was this had been taken apart before. Somebody had attempted to do service on it, and there were things in weird places, washers in weird places, washers missing, stuff like that. When I was taking it apart, I just thought maybe, that was the way it was assembled. But after I got everything cleaned up, and especially like this part around here, I could tell somebody had taken this thing apart before, and they had really pried on this, and then beat on this to get back on. This planetary cover here was, it was pretty mangled. It had a lot of dents in it and stuff, so that had to be like, we filed this down quite a bit and then sanded it. And we actually took, a decent amount of metal off the surface of it just to get it to look better. And the part where this ring fits over here, the edge that goes around there, that had a bunch of dents in it and everything where, you could tell somebody was prying on it. So at that point, I just assumed somebody had taken us apart before and didn't know how to put it back together, so I just put it back together the way all the other Kitchenaids go, with the washers in the right place and everything. And it seems to be all right now. Another thing that I noticed is this part right here on the shaft. It doesn't have, I put a washer on here that's supposed to be here, but now it doesn't stay up here at the top. There's supposed to be a spring here, and this one is actually missing the spring. So I dug through my parts, and I found this one, which is, it's the same thing, except instead of having, this one's got this pin right here that your attachment hooks to was pressed into this one, where on that one it's actually threaded in, so I can unthread it, and this has the washer and the spring. So there's a little C-clip right here that holds the spring on, but if I take this off, I can take this right out the bottom. I'm just going to put this spring on there, and we should be able to just make it, make it the way it should be on here now after we do that. I mean, hopefully this will all come off of here. And maybe not as easy as I thought. Alright, I may have to work on that a little bit. Alright, I got this off. It was a little bit of work. But I believe that we can just swap it out with this one. Yeah, there we go. There. Alright, so now it's got the spring to keep pressure on it as well. Yeah, I'm not sure, what the story is behind this whole thing, who worked on it, when, and what they were trying to accomplish. But anyways, we got it all back together now. We got the lift arm. Works. I mean, it's like nice and smooth. Locks into place with no effort at all. Let's go ahead and turn this thing on and give it a listen to here. Alright, so as you see, it's got plenty of speeds. It doesn't seem to have as much. I mean, I even put a different speed switch plate on it and stuff too. And it doesn't seem to have, at the end you don't have hardly any difference between 9 and 10, and hardly any difference between 1 and 2, but you do have from 1, you've got your nice slow speed up to, or not 10, yeah, 10. 10 is a fast speed on there, so, it does have the range of speeds. It's an old machine. I mean, it's a really old machine. I don't know, how I've tried everything to try to adjust a little bit more variance in between your things, but being that you got like mechanical notches and it moves a rod, and that rod is bent, by the way, too. At the back here, I had to straighten that out, but which moves a plate. You do have adjustments on here, but there's only so far you can go, because you go one way. And you can throw off the other end, and you adjust that end, and you can throw it off another way. So, try and get it right in the center where it's at. And I think it runs good now. We got everything polished up on here, and this thing looks amazing in this satin black. I mean, this looks far better than I thought it would. And like I said, he's got some decal plans for this, which I'm kind of excited to see too. But anyways, we're going to get this one wrapped up, wipe it down one more time, and get it on back to him. So if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And as always, we will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.